How does one from the Black Country end up in a position with Dave Mustaine in Russia in an arena?
Stuff and Dave Mustaine looks over. He's like, "What the f*** are those guys doing here?" Like, you know, just, yeah. Like,
and then your ass goes, "Ooh."
And like literally, the thing got us to the venue and then died on its. And then we were stuck. We played the first gig. It got us a little bit of money, and then we were just like, "Right, you're on your own."
The Back to the Beginning show.
Oh, yeah.
So you were a part of the thing that the world tried to get tickets for, and you were there working.
Yeah. You go and play some of these theatre venues in the States, and you walk on stage, turn your ramp on, and all you hear is, it's like, great, what is that? And things like mental health is just such a prevalent thing, like, for musicians and people working in music. It's such an up and down. The highs are ridiculous, and then the lows are like the lowest that you're going to get, like, sort of thing, you know. And the pyro goes off for the first time during the gig, and you just hear the guitar go, and I was like, what the hell was that? And KK's looking at me like, what the f*** have you done to my rig, like, sort of thing, you know, thinking that I'm messing with buttons and whatever.
Hello and welcome back to the Splinter Studios Podcast. It has been an absolute age, and I apologise if you've been keeping up and you've been missing out on them. But it's back. We're back. We're doing it. So the reason we're back is because a few months ago, I bumped into today's guest at a festival, got talking and realised that we need to bring it back because you guys need to hear what this local hero's got to say. Now, if you don't recognise his name, Anthony Wall is today's guest. He's smashing it in the music industry. And if you're a young musician, if you're an older musician, he's got such great stories and some great words of wisdom for you that you need to hear. So, Ant is currently the guitar tech for KK Downing of Judas Priest. Yes, the Judas Priest, who's been touring the world with KK's Priest, his solo project. He's also been with some other bands. He's been with loads of originals bands back in the day. He's got some interesting stories of Josh. And yeah, he's absolutely smashing it. So it's a fascinating listen. He's a really cool guy. I'm so pleased he's really doing well. So be sure to give it a listen. Give him a follow as well. Check out all of his details. But yeah, thank you for tuning in and enjoy the episode. Ant, thanks for joining me.
Dude, how's it going?
Good, man. How you doing?
Yeah, all good, man. All good. Enjoying a very peaceful Monday for a change. You know, usually it's a bit all over the place. So,
yeah.
You know, it's nice to come down here, like, you know. It's always weird coming down here, though, to be fair, because, like, straight away, it's like, well, I mean, we'll probably end up getting into this, but, like, usually I come down here and get, like, so many flashbacks to when things, like, sort of started, and like this used to essentially be like, you know, just a hole in the ground with like 3 box bedrooms and a couple of PV bandits in, like, you know, to see like what it is now. We're doing a fucking podcast here.
I know.
Oh, speaking of, you're swearing, okay?
Yeah, all good.
All right, cool.
All good. You crack on. If you're offended, grow up.
Yeah. It's the Black Country in us. I'm just like, as soon as I get round somebody from Wednesbury, the swearing starts. So
life's too short to sit clicking beeps on machines. So you know what? Just live with it. I'm sorry. Right. So what I've done to kick us off, I haven't even pre-warned you with this. So
no, again, I've come in completely unprepared. Like so.
So I've got some quick fire questions for you, just so because I want the audience to get to know you. So because they might not necessarily know Ant Wall the person, but they're going to know some of the work that you've done, and we'll get into that. But this will help them to get to understand you a bit more, the kind of personality you are, the person you are. It's all musical themed anyway, mainly. Okay, so first one. I've got a nice little hair floating in front of my face. First one, who's your favourite band at the minute?
At the minute? God, probably Dayseeker.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's sort of a metalcore band, but with like a pop voice singer sort of thing that can do a bit of screaming as well. But like, I'm always into like, you know, the 80s retro vibe, like synthwave, all that. It's kind of like incorporates a lot of that as well.
Are they similar to like Bad Omens?
Yeah, very similar. Like Bad Omens is in the same sort of vibe and vein, like, you know, yeah. But yeah, those guys and yeah. I suppose if we just got to pick one off the top of my head, that'd be the one.
Okay, cool. What do you prefer, rap or country?
Country.
Yeah? What would you say your favourite sport is?
At the minute, Formula 1.
Yeah? Oh, and well, you've just answered the next question. Favourite sport team?
Yeah, probably McLaren at the minute. I think they're good. I know Aston Martin are looking good for next season.
Who are you rooting for, McLaren? Anyone in particular?
I'd just like to see either of them do it. To be fair, I'd love to see Nando.
Chicken's
Nando Norris. I think I hope he does well. Yeah, Lando Norris. I hope he kind of does it, but I'd take Piastri.
Yeah, nice. They're smashing as well, aren't they? At the minute,
won the constructors, so
Nice.
and basically they've just got to hold it together as a team now and hope that Verstappen doesn't come up and do him from behind, sort of thing. So,
Oasis or Blur, or neither?
oh God,
Do you like either?
it's kind of a okay, just for a nostalgic reason, Oasis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you Oasis fan or not?
No, not so much anymore, but I wouldn't say even a fan.
Yeah.
But Oasis has just been one of them bands that was always present through my childhood.
Yeah. Fair.
Pubs and football and,
Yeah?
Yeah, it's everywhere, so.
Paul McCartney or John Lennon? Again, are we a Beatles fan?
Not really, no.
No?
It's
Great questions from me then so far.
Yeah. Let's call it John Lennon.
Okay, cool. Would you rather perform live or record in the studio?
Oh, tough. It would depend on the project. I love playing in front of a lot of people. Some of these festivals that we get to do, like the tribute festivals and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I've played in front of some incredible crowds in originals bands as well. But there's just something about locking in a studio with a band that's really going after it.
Yeah.
So, probably playing live would just about edge it over.
Yeah. Fair. Who would you say your favourite female-fronted band is? I know female-fronted is not a nice term, but just to shine some light on them.
Female-fronted band?
Or any...
Kind of like what Poppy's doing, even though she's got that, people kind of giving it the industry vibe crack at the minute, I think she's pretty good. More of a solo artist, really, isn't she? That's got a backing band.
Yeah.
I think Jordan Fish does some
He's
things.
proper carrying the torch, isn't he? Well, they've just done the song with singer of Spirit Box and Emily as well, haven't they?
Yeah. See, I like Spirit Box as well, but it's kind of just. I'm very much when something goes a little bit too popular, I find myself pulling back from it.
No, I get that. Megadeth or Metallica?
Metallica.
Yeah? Cool. Red Hot Chili Peppers or Foo Fighters?
Foo Fighters.
Cool. And then, in terms of films as opposed to songs, Bohemian Rhapsody or Rocket Man?
I haven't seen Rocket Man.
Have you not?
No.
Okay.
How is it?
Bohemian Rhapsody for me.
Yeah, I think it would be for me too, to be fair. I mean, I've never really been a big Elton John fan.
Nah, same.
But
it's very much more a musical as opposed to a film with songs in.
I did like Bohemian Rhapsody. I've seen that film quite a few times now.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
It's good on a plane, let me tell you that much. When you get the films on the plane, sort of thing. It keeps you going, man.
Yeah, I bet. Nice. And in the film vein, what's the last film that you watched?
Reservoir Dogs.
Oh yeah, classic.
Yeah, absolutely. I've fallen out of love with films. I say fallen out of love with them, just sort of not really found the time.
Yeah.
And so recently I've kind of put myself back on it. Right, we need to get off my phone. Let's go watch some classic films, and Reservoir Dogs was the last one.
You're more of a series guy?
Yeah, again, I like series mainly because I don't really watch them. You know what I mean? If something's really Stranger Things, I'll watch the crap out of that program, but I usually stick something on just to kind of keep it, But I'm finding myself watching more a real life documentary series at the minute, or the documentary films the one they did with Charlie Sheen.
Yeah.
Or at the minute I'm catching up with Drive to Survive and all that.
Yeah, it's good. I like that one. Sweet. Do you prefer vinyls or digital downloads?
Vinyl.
Yeah? You got a collection?
A small one.
Yeah.
But I got sort of turned on to vinyls, I don't know, a few years ago now, and there was just something really quite special about it, and I don't know, I might be the weird one in this, but when you get a vinyl that's just a little bit like a vinyl player that sort of speeds up the vinyls, and it kind of takes the frequency up a little bit, I don't know why I like it, but it's just really cool.
Yeah. I'm with you. What was the first gig you went to?
First gig I went to, proper gig, because the first gig that I went to would have actually been one of yours.
Yeah.
In the Hex.
That's not a proper gig.
Yeah, exactly. But if it was, if we're talking proper gigs, we were all supposed to go watch Avenged Sevenfold, if you remember, in Wolverhampton at the Civic Hall.
Yeah.
On the self-titled tour. And
I was there.
Yeah.
Was you not there? I went.
Yeah, we went. But that was supposed to be my first gig. And I was like saving myself for it. Like, your first time supposed to be with someone special. And no, I ended up blowing it because a week earlier I ended up going to a funeral for a friend.
Okay. So that's the first one. That's a cool first gig.
It's a good first gig. Like, I didn't know a song apart from Oblivion. Is it?
I ain't a funeral for a friend guy.
No, me either. But like, that was the only song that I knew because it was just big on Kerrang at the time.
Right, yeah.
And as soon as it came on, and they did this thing where they dropped like foam from the ceiling, and I was like, okay, this is actually really cool. Like, the whole gig I was just stood there going, you fucking shit. But that I thought was really cool. Like, and then I came out going, that was amazing.
And then so you had that and Avenged very quick.
And then Avenged Sevenfold was like, it's a good start, isn't it?
With seven, was it seven? No, Black Tide were opening.
That's right. God, what happened to them? Black Tide?
They're still technically going. I think the singer's gone solo, and the drummer's now an influencer. He's got like 1 million followers.
I remember the drummer being like, was he the one that was like proper jacked?
Yeah.
And like just looked like something out of a Predator film?
Did you come with us to see them at the Academy 3 in Birmingham?
Yeah, I think I did actually. Yeah, did they headline a show?
Yeah, that was their return because the singer was like 15, wasn't he?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, absolutely. Mad. Oh, wow. No, that's brought some memories
Nostalgia.
back. And I think like Blood Simple was like the opener.
That was the other one. I
something.
couldn't remember them. Yeah. Last gig you went to?
Last week. Killswitch Engage, Hatebreed, Fit for an Autopsy, and Decapitated opening.
Good.
Mate.
Hey, were Killswitch?
Incredible. Yeah, I got absolutely battered in the pit. I came out of mosh pit retirement for the first time.
I'm too old to do.
Dude,
moshing now.
I mean, I picked that.
Oh, is that from? No, that's wow.
That's a cracker.
Some colours in that.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I have no idea when that happened, but I felt it. Like, oh man, but the gig was incredible. Like, we thought it was just going to be because like I'm getting like really sort of like weird with gigs lately. You go to so many, and then once you start knowing how things happen behind the scenes, and that, like you start picking up on things. And the sound for Decapitated was like a bit sort of questionable sort of thing. Like I was thought it's going to be one of those notes.
Yeah.
And then I sort of found it a little bit further into the mix, and then Fit for an Autopsy came on, and it was like holy crap! Like the real gig feeling just came back, like sort of thing, And it was a shame because Decapitated played like incredibly. It was just such a weird vibe to start with. And then as soon as the night started rolling, it was like, oh, I'm 16 years old again, like sort of thing, you know what I mean?
Are you I haven't got this one written down, but are you a Howard guy or a Jesse guy?
Howard.
Oh yeah. Was that just for the era you got into him or?
Yeah, it's got that sort because that was like the first band that got me sort of really into the music where I consider myself like the strongest influence for what I do sort of thing, when like the End of Heartache and CM Punk used to have This Fire Burns as a theme song, like like I just couldn't get over it. There's some magic in this band. I don't know what it is. And then Jesse came back, and I was like, I went to go watch their first gig in the UK when Jesse was back. It was incredible. It was great, but I was just like, there's just something not the same. Yeah. But I don't know. I suppose that's like. That'd be like Bon Scott versus Brian Johnson sort of thing, at least, but for my age, like sort of thing.
No, it's fair. Right, last one of the quickfire then. Name a band that you haven't seen but you'd really want to. Now, I've put Dead or Alive, but if you want to do one of each.
Okay, Dead, Big Country with Stuart Adamson.
Okay.
Now, I got to do a bit of work for Big Country recently, but obviously Stuart Adamson's been dead for quite a while. Like, and there's only one original member in the band. Still incredible.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I could go back and see original Big Country lineup.
Yeah.
Yeah. Live. That's a hard question.
Is there anyone that you've missed or not seen? Is there
I suppose like Slipknot is a band.
You've never seen Slipknot?
No.
Oh,
I just always seem to coincide like not being around.
Being busy.
Yeah. Like I've either got something on or I'm out and away or like whatever. I like to see him just to say I've seen him. Not even necessarily because I want to see him, just to say that I've done it.
Yeah. I've seen them twice. You know what? Controversially, I thought they were really disappointing both times.
I imagine that'd be the same vibe as well. Like,
you just think,
I'd go and I'd just be like, I don't know what my problem was. But I think it's just a big name on a list that hasn't been ticked off yet. Like
I feel that way with Metallica. Like, I'm not a Metallica fan at all, but I'd like to just see them, just to tick them off.
Seen them twice, surprisingly good.
Really?
Yeah. I haven't seen them on any of the recent tours. I saw them when they played that, Download where they did the Black album.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then saw them at Back to the Beginning, and that was great as well.
Yeah?
Yeah, they smashed that.
Sweet. Right, let's get into the proper stuff then.
Yeah.
Okay, so first of all, I want to, obviously, so people can get to know you, how would you describe your job? Overall, so everything, so...
As in my job description, or...?
Yeah, because the thing is, you're not dissimilar to us in the way that you do several different things.
Yeah, multifaceted, yeah.
But sometimes on a questionnaire, you've got to put, what's your job? Or if someone comes and you've got a 30-second explanation to someone about what you do for a living, how do you sum your job up?
Oh, God, that's a tough question, because it's like, I suppose if I was just going to tell you what I do, I either... play music for sort of a living, produce music for sort of a living, or I'm a guitar tech / touring technician. I'm breaking into a few other things like monitor technician, just general backline work, and hoping to get in some front of house work as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, all in all, it's about being like about 80% of it, apart from just the playing in bands as well, is just about being like a secret weapon in the background that just sort of gets shit done and makes a show run smoothly, or makes an album come together smoothly, or whatever. Just makes everybody else's life easier. And I don't know, I guess instill a bit of confidence sort of thing, because you don't want a team that's running around with their heads off, like, sort of thing. Yeah. Probably, but that's what I do. Yeah.
So how long would you say you've been like a full-time, like you've worked in the music industry, like full-time?
Full-time? 2019 or back end of 2018 into 2019 was when it all become official.
Yeah.
Not doing a job anymore.
Yeah.
This is life.
Just music.
Yeah.
But it's been something you've done.
Yeah, it's been something that I've done for I've been a musician since I was 14, not all that. Like, we started roughly the same sort of time.
Yeah.
Me a little bit later than you. And then just kind of gone forward with it since, got into producing when I was around 18, 19 sort of thing, probably a little bit after that.
Yeah.
And just kind of carried on with it ever since, like.
So talk me through your journey then. So going into the music industry, so how did it start? Where did it go from just being, like, just picking up? Like, was it guitar your first instrument?
Yeah, it was bass guitar first.
Bass guitar.
Yeah, I got my first bass guitar when I was 14, coming up to, like, my 15th birthday, like, sort of thing, Parents bought me that and just sort of went at it, really. And, like, I never really naturally took to it. And what also didn't help was I didn't have, like, a good teacher. So I never really went and got lessons. It was all very much just sort of, right, you've got the bass, you've got an amp.
Yeah.
There you go. Have some fun with it, like, and see if you can stick it out for a year or something, from my parents, like, sort of thing. Let's see if you stick with it. And I kind of did. I kind of just took to it, like, really loved it, but had, like, a lot of difficulty with it. And, like, it was just sort of, download all my favourite albums. It was, like, Green Day's American Idiot, yes. Red Hot Chili Peppers, whichever one Californication was on. That might have even been the album name, I'm not sure.
I think so.
Yeah. Blink-182's Greatest Hits, all that sort of stuff. And just went through. A friend of ours, Danny Yates, taught me how to print tabs off the computer.
Yeah.
So I used to go find tabs on, like, a very early ultimateguitar.com and, just used to sit there going, Christ, this is wrong, like, and just kind of try and make it sound like,
Kids don't realise how lucky they've got it now for tabs.
Oh, yeah.
Like, being 14 years old and trying to figure something out, and there's one tab, and if it's wrong, that's all you've got.
Yeah, exactly, yeah, and you just got to sort of sit there and try and work it out, and, like, you're going like, boom, no, boom, yeah, there we go, right.
Guitar's out of tune anyway.
Yeah, exactly, yeah, 100%, it doesn't matter, because you haven't had a good setup on it in years, like, and, it's crazy, it really is. Or, like, having an amp that just about distorts, like, so you just, like, trying to play, like, heavy metal on an amp that craps out if you turn it up past 6, like,
Yeah, so what was your first gig that you played?
First gig?
Who was the band?
So, I was actually in a band with Josh Pritchett. Who,
Was that your first gig, was it?
Yeah. That's right, yeah. Would have been with Into Elysium, yeah.
Nice.
You've probably talked about them on here if you've ever talked with Josh or whatever,
Yeah.
like, you know. So yeah, me, Josh, James Mills, Ashley Leveland, and we played the Green supporting you guys.
Yeah?
Yeah. So that would have been my first show. Interesting, you know.
Way. That's mad.
Yeah, like it was. It was interesting for a start. Like, you know, just very much just sort of like, oh crap. So that's what this is like. You know, we did terribly, did absolutely awful, and then just still wanted to do it after, like sort of thing. It was like, okay, that sucked, but I'm feeling this, like sort of thing. And then like the next gig we did was like JB's main stage, was supporting Jay's brother's band Hostile, AJ and all those guys. And that was like, oh shit, like
Real.
we're on to something here, like, you know. So
I remember, you know, when your memory plays tricks, I'm like, I don't know if I was there or I just saw a video, but I remember I definitely saw you do it live, so maybe I was there doing Beast and the Harlot.
Yeah.
And I was like, the audacity for, I'm guessing would have been about 16, 15, 16 at the time.
Yeah.
The audacity for these kids who were my age to get up and do Beast and the Harlot while my band were doing Back in Black.
Yeah.
And I was like, that is out of order to do that. And they were like, okay, this is... And that was the first time I'd watched Josh perform. Because I knew Josh was a fan of... I'm going to embarrass him because he ain't here to defend himself. Because he was a fan of our band at the time.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's interesting. That could be a good fit for the future.
Well, put it this way, that was the only reason we did that song is because Josh could rip some Sinister Gates. Like, you know, he's incredible guitarist.
Probably couldn't do it now. He's probably...
Well, at the time, he did all right, man. And like, you know, I sort of ambled stuff together and Jay was vocal, you know, whatever. We got through it and But that would have been like our third time we played JB's or something, like, you know. So that was just coming to the end of that band. Mm-hmm. Josh was getting ready to jump ship over to you guys and start Liberty Lies with you. And
Yeah. So what bands... So do you want to just shout out some of the bands that you've played in or along your journey, see if people recognise anything?
Yeah. So next would have been Splinter Tone. It was just like a local band, but like that was my first proper band experience. Like, you know, probably the band that sort of like started my musical journey for reals. Like, you know, like I got to play some really good gigs, got to go record in a studio, all that stuff. It was the band that made me realise that, okay, this is what I want to do. Yeah. Real jobs are fun, but, you know, we need to go and do this, like, sort of thing, you know. Broken Torment, progressive metal band that got to go do some really cool stuff. Viable Truth, death metal band that did some really interesting stuff, and that kind of broke me into like the realms of like Meshuggah and like Gojira, all those sorts of weird.
All those band names, I'm sure that people, if they know the music, they can tell the kind of band by the band names.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like they probably tell you everything you need to know.
Exactly.
Viable Truth isn't an indie band, is he?
No, it's very much that. Rogue Reflection, which was very much like my baby as far as learning how to write songs goes. It was, right, we're doing away with the 3-minute solos. We're doing it like we want catchy choruses. We want, like, you know, cool hooks and all that sort of stuff. So that was like a really important time for me as far as music goes. And Hostile.
Yeah. And that when did you finish with Hostile? Were you in Hostile till the end of Hostile?
Yeah. So I took like a brief hiatus when I was going through some stuff. And then I came back to help those guys with like a couple of really cool shows in their last tour and whatnot. Like,
and you played bass with them, didn't you?
Yeah. Played bass as soon as Andy Mills sort of stepped down. Mm-hmm. I was helping them do pre-production demos on their second album at the time, and he decided he was going to step down, so I sort of stepped in off the back of the album finishing. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
And over all those bands, obviously that's such a big collection, and you must have done countless gigs.
Yeah.
Is there any like highlights that stand out?
Yeah, absolutely. I got to play Bloodstock.
Hostile, was that? Or...
No, that was with another band, Left Unscarred. Yeah, it's like a hardcore sort of band, you know, metalcore hardcore. Because everybody was getting into this like metal to the masses thing, like sort of thing, and we were quite arrogant about this at the time, but like we got invited to go and play Bloodstock, like, so we was like, fuck off, like, we ain't doing that competition, like sort of thing, you know. And very short-sighted of us as kids. But that was the band actually that sort of broke me into the industry a little bit more.
Yeah.
because I got my first endorsements from that. Like we got a Laney endorsement and Ibanez endorsement, Tamer and Zildjian, as well. Like so, got to go do some really cool stuff off the back of that. Like very short-lived band. It's how band politics and dynamics are, but when you've got two alphas in a band, it's like shit gets done.
Yeah.
But it's a bumpy road.
You bump heads, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I wasn't even one of the, in every band that I've been in, I've always been a guy with a voice. But in that band, I was like third or fourth, So.
Who was headlining Bloodstock that year?
I don't even know. The whole thing came and went as like a big flash, like sort of thing. We didn't even stick around. We had to play and then go back because one of the guys had like some things to do and he was the guy driving the van.
Right.
So, I wouldn't even be able to tell you. All I know is we played the New Blood stage at something like 3-4 o'clock or something, and we nearly missed our slot.
Oh, why?
Because the vocalist was supposed to get the sat-nav address, and he got the business address, not the venue address. So we turned up at some dude's house in the middle of God knows where. Luckily, it was about half an hour away, so we had to really haul ass to get there. And I
did that last week.
Did
with
you?
a gig. It still doesn't change. I just got the wrong address and ended up 45 minutes away with an hour to go.
Yeah. Whoever the band was, I can't remember to this day, but whoever the band was, it says, "Oh yeah, it's fine. We'll take their slot. They can have our slot later."
Heroes.
Absolutely.
So many bands don't do that.
Exactly.
They're just like, I want the later slot.
Yeah. Well, these guys were already skin deep, and just sort of like, well, yeah, fuck it, we'll get it. Thank you
Fair play
so
to them.
much.
Yeah.
So
was that good?
Yeah, it was. It was nervy because we literally got there and the looks we were getting, just sort of like, you wankers are lucky, man.
Especially because you've been given your slot.
Exactly.
You haven't had to go in as a small band.
That's the short-sightedness of it.
They don't hand out opportunities, and it's very much like you mess this up, you don't come back.
Exactly. No, you do not get those opportunities given to you willy-nilly. There's a structure in that, and so we really nearly screwed the pooch on that. So
that's one of the things I'm keen to talk about because we've got a lot of young musicians that would watch this. And I always think it's good to learn from mine and the guests' mistakes and learn things along the way that if you can avoid making these mistakes, your bands will be so much better off because the amount of times that that's why we very early on, we just cut drinking. We just wouldn't drink until after because we nearly ruined one gig being hungover. And after that, we're like, never again.
Yeah.
And I think if people can watch and take something away from it, it's not always about getting to the top. You've got to get all through these really rubbish stages unscathed to make your way at the top. Unless you cherry pick, like going back to Poppy, you can be lifted out of it. But you do need to learn these mistakes early on. Yeah,
absolutely, because they happen and come thick and fast like these mistakes do. Before you've even known it, you can blow so many opportunities just by saying the wrong thing to the wrong people, or walking into a venue pissed off because you had a bit of a blowout in the van or something, or like you say, just turning up a little bit drunk to a gig and there could be an opportunity there waiting for you, and just the fact that you've stumbled up that top step, it's
There's
crazy.
So many toes to be stood on, literally and metaphorically. If you do the wrong thing once, you've just burnt your bridge.
Exactly.
I know there's a lot of bands that come down here that have got that one big gig and they've done something wrong and the band's like, no, you're off.
Yep.
You don't even get to play the gig. You're off the bill.
Yeah.
Guns N' Roses are famous for it, and any time there's a band that we toured with, they got on the Guns N' Roses tour doing stadiums and you'd be buzzing and they were like, Axl just turned up, he was like, I don't want an opening band.
Oh.
And just threw them off the entire tour.
Wow.
And imagine that, you're like, we're set. We've got the Guns N' Roses gig. And then they were like, yeah, we don't want an opening band.
Imagine the build-up and the promo that you've done.
Imagine the merch you've got to order.
I know, yeah. And you've gone round to everybody going guess who's on Guns N' Roses next week?
Yeah. And how did the tour go? Great for them.
Yeah, well, the flight in was nice. The flight home, not so good.
So would you say Hostile's your biggest, probably what you'd be most well known for as a musician?
It'd be the most well-known band. Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. We got to do some really cool stuff. We got to go on tour quite a lot. We did a lot of Europe with that.
Yep.
Supported Megadeth in Russia, which was
I've got that written down.
Insane gig. That was, and that again, another one of those instances where it could have all gone tits up.
Right.
Just because, like, we did exactly what we were told.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But yeah, that'd probably be like the biggest band, and then those are the sorts of things that would be like the biggest gigs that I've played in an originals band to date, like sort of thing.
Well, you can't skirt over the arena in Russia with Megadeth without explaining that more. I was having this conversation recently because we done some gigs with Ben Evans.
Great.
And he was telling me, but I'm sure the people would love to know.
Yeah.
How does one from the Black Country end up in a position with Dave Mustaine in Russia in an arena?
So I got to be completely honest. I'm not sure about how the managerial side of it went. We were very much on the market for a lot of tours and stuff. Like, you know, we got a really good manager at the time, Steve Dixon, who was doing Mammoth Fest. And what else? AJ was doing quite a lot of work as well, like, you know, really shipping the band around. Yeah. Like, he was doing great as well. Like, you know, he got us offered quite a lot of tours. But as you would know as well, is like a lot of tours require like a buy-on.
We have spoke about this before on the podcast. So.
Yeah. So, well, there's no secret. Like, I've bought onto tours. First bus tour I ever did with Left Unscarred was with Breed 77. Yeah. And we shared a tour bus. We essentially bought the tour bus.
We got offered one of those deals as well.
Yeah.
Different time, but we got offered the Breed 77.
Yeah. And I'll say this much: it was a lot of money, but I don't regret spending it. No,
I don't. Yeah, same. It's a whole other conversation to be had, which we can have anyway.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But yeah, buy-ons.
Yeah. So whether this was a buy-on or not, I'm not actually sure.
Yeah.
Or whether it was just something that the guys between Steve and AJ sort of managed to get. Because this was like the sort of. So whether or not it was those guys that sort of put the whole thing together or not, like, I'm not sure. Or whether it was a buy-on, I can't quite remember. Yeah. I'm not shy about it if it was, to be fair. Like, you know, I'd tell you if it was, I just actually don't know. Yeah. But yeah, those were the sort of tours that we were being offered. It was like, I think like we got offered to do some stuff with like Biohazard. We ended up supporting those guys anyway at like a random gig. And it was all like these sorts of bands. And then the Megadeth one just came up and it was like, lads, we can either do these tours or we could go to Russia and play with Megadeth. And it was like, well, what are the tours like? And, you know, we got because obviously everyone went, oh, Megadeth, you know. So anyway, long story short, we ended up going for that. And it was just the one show, Moscow Stadium, Megadeth and us opening. That was literally
just two-band bill.
Just two-band bill.
Wow, the dream.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. So we had to get like gear rental sorted, you know, sorted a hostel out and all that. And it was incredible. But like I say, like we were talking about earlier, very nearly got sort of knocked off just because we turned up when we were supposed to turn up and the band was still on stage doing their sound checks. Like,
right,
you know, we were told, be here at this time because this is where your gear's going to be. You need to sign it all off and all this, like, you know, so we arrived on the dot.
Yeah.
As soon as we walked in, you know, we're just checking out the amps and stuff, and Dave Mustaine looks over. He's like, "What the fuck are those guys doing here?" Like, you know, and just, yeah. Like,
and then your arse goes, "Ooh."
Yeah, exactly. And he's moaning at his crew, like, you know, saying like, "Fuck them off, get them out of here. I don't want them," like, and all this, yeah. And it turned into a bit of a thing, really. And it's not the first time we've had similar sort of incidences with Dave Mustaine, to be fair, over the course of my career, like, you know. But yeah, luckily his crew and the rest of the band were absolutely awesome. Yeah. Like, you know, Dave Ellison was still in the band at the time, one of the nicest guys that I've met, like, sort of thing. Kiko was the guitarist, he was great as well. And all their crew as well, absolutely stellar guys. Yeah. You know, they keep that team like running. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
And what was the capacity of the venue?
I think it was close to 10,000.
And how's that? Because I've never done 10,000
insane,
arena.
because we were expecting to just play to, like, you know, we thought, right, they're going to open the doors as soon as we come on, like, sort of thing. And the room was like 3/4 full before we even went on stage. It was quite funny, actually, because we're all up there. We took a peek through the curtain, like, sort of thing, and there was nobody there. And we're like, great, we're going to be playing to like 30 people. And then one of the lads sent one of the road, like, we took out like 2 techs. Mm-hmm. And it was like, right, just go to the stage and grab my water for me, like, sort of thing. And he went down, and all of a sudden we hear, because they thought like he was a member of and he just come back up and his face was white. And he goes, lads, there's people here, like, and we was like, what, a couple hundred? He says, like, no, there is people here, like, sort of thing. And when we went out, like, just to see the whole place was full, like, unbelievable. Like,
and what happens in your head then? Because do you get the excitement? Obviously, it's so hard to explain, because I know for myself, you want people to be there, but as soon as you know people are there, the pressure just amplifies. So are you happy? Obviously, happy is a stupid word. Are you more excited then, or does the nerves just take over?
kind of happy, but in Hostile's always been this band with the name of Hostile. Like, you expect it to be like some, like, buff ass dudes that come in looking mean and all that sort of stuff. And I very much just kind of looked out, went, holy crap, that's a lot of people. And then, like that, the character turned on. And I just looked at AJ and gave him the nod and was just like, we've got this, man. Like,
yeah.
And we just went out, smashed out, like, the first couple of songs. And Ben, unfortunately, had an incident where his amp cracked out.
Oh, no.
So he's trying to sort his stuff out, but the rest of the band are playing, like, sort of thing. And we decided to just... I didn't think he'd come back in until just before the third song. But we had the audience. Yeah. Because we were just, like, game faces on. It was metal as fuck, like, and just really enjoying ourselves, but keeping this character going, like, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And we just had, like, a whale of a time and a great performance, like, all in all, like, especially, like, as soon as Ben sorted his amp out, he got straight back up and started playing again and throwing down, and it was, and it was great. And, the whole crowd fists in the air, like, whenever we wanted to, like, full-blown cheering between songs. It wasn't like a weird support band smattering of applause, like, sort of thing.
Blank face.
Exactly, yeah.
Hurry up and get Megadeth
exactly,
out.
Like, and we were expecting that. Yeah. With, like, we thought, like, Megadeth have had the same sort of fan base as, like, Slayer or something, where they're there to watch them and they don't give a fuck about anybody else.
The bullet belt.
Exactly,
team.
yeah. But no, so after the show, actually, we finished the show and, like, it was all great and everything. We went out into the pit, and everyone was coming up to us, going like, "Hey, you guys did really well!" Like, so many English-speaking people in Russia as well. It was absolutely mental, really. And so we were just in the crowd then watching Megadeth, like, having a whale of a time as well. And that whole experience was just like, holy crap, this could happen.
Yeah.
It was the thing that made us go, it's not impossible.
It's like sink or swim when you get into such a big stage, because if you crumble, that's it. Because what's the point of chasing to be a big band if you get to the highest stage and then you're like, oh, I can't do it.
Yeah.
So that's when you're like, okay, well, we know that this works. We know that the audience like it. So we've just got to get this seen by as many people as possible.
Yeah.
So how was it in Russia? Because that's it's so random. Like Megadeth, Arena, Russia.
Yeah. So we're obviously talking pre all this.
Yeah. I don't even think it's possible now, is it? No one seems to be touring it.
Yeah. So it was very weird because it was like Moscow is just like this beautiful place, and then it's not. Right. You walk down one street and it's like all this architecture and stuff, and then you'll walk down another street and it's just drunks and drugs everywhere. Like, sort of, just thinking, Jesus Christ, like, and it literally changes like that from street to street. And one of the guys we were talking to were like, oh yeah, like, people are that poor around here, they can't even afford the vodka. And we went into a supermarket and it was dirt cheap. Like, like, we were just buying, like, and they were like, be careful, don't get seen with that guy, because people are drinking like paint thinners just to get
just like, feel something.
Crap. Yeah.
Or not feel something.
Exactly, yeah. So that side of it was rough, and then the side of it where it was like, people had a little bit more money, it was actually like a really nice place, like, sort of thing. Like I say, the crowd and the people, very receptive and very cool. Couple of non-English speaking people that were really trying, like, sort of thing. But when you got like to English speaking people, they're all great, absolutely awesome. The hostel was a weird experience though that we stayed in.
Hostile in hostel?
Yeah, hostel in a hostel. Which, because we got like this, it was right next to the venue. So we thought, that's great, we'll just wake up and go to the venue, whatever. No, it turned out to also be a cattery. Home to about 40, 50 cats.
Just what you want when you're short of sleep and full of vodka.
Exactly, yeah, 100%. So we're in this cattery with like 40, 50 cats, like, and this Russian family that didn't speak a lick of English, I got shouted at because I went for a shower without putting some Crocs on or something. I was like, you're never going to catch me in a pair of Crocs, dude. So, yeah, and yeah, like, it was all party. Like, we were quite, like, responsible. We thought, right, let's not let this... We're in Russia, so let's just all have a drink.
Yeah. If you mess up in Russia,
Exactly.
it's trouble.
Yeah.
Because that happened with Randy from Lamb of God. Wasn't his thing in Russia?
Czech Republic, I think.
Was it Czech Republic?
When he got arrested.
Yeah.
Yeah. Czech Republic, yeah.
Frightening.
Yeah, absolutely.
They don't mess about over there, do they?
No, they do not.
But yeah, so did you meet the Megadeth guys?
Yeah. So, well, okay, everybody except Dave Mustaine.
Oh,
So
really?
he didn't want to meet anybody. Like, sort
Oh,
of.
right.
Yeah.
After the way he acted on the Some Kind of Monster documentary, he comes across like a...
I imagine if you're in his circle of people, he's probably sound.
Yeah.
But we weren't anywhere near his circle of people. Like, we weren't in the circle anywhere near the circle of people that, you know. But Dave Ellison made a real effort with us because he knows that we were linked to KK as well. So it was all like, oh, give KK my best, like, you know, and all that sort of stuff. And Kiko was also really cool as well. Like I say, I didn't see the drummer, but all their crew were great people as well. Like, you know, yeah. So, but I've like, you know, we've seen Dave Ellison on the road like quite a lot since as well. We've done quite a lot of things with him, like while working with KK and whatnot. And he just maintains that really nice guy, like the nicest guy in metal sort of thing, like, you know.
Oh, good. So you've done some other countries, haven't you? Where else have you played around the world?
Played Italy, was good.
Were you part of the team that broke down and got stuck?
Oh God, yes.
Was that Hostile?
Yeah, that was Hostile.
And you were one of the members?
Yeah. Unfortunate incident where we were driving, because we drove to Italy to go and play these shows. Like, you know, we didn't want to fly. We got all of our gear. We wanted to take all of our gear. So we kitted out like the van so that we could sleep in it on the road. And we'd done tours in this thing, like, you know, but just this one time we started having like some weird issues when we got to about Luxembourg, like sort of thing. And AJ was like, this could be a problem. It was like, let's just see if we can get there, like sort of thing. Now, Luxembourg to Italy is a long way.
Right.
And literally, and we were playing in Naples as well. So it's the bottom of Italy, like sort of thing. So by the time we got to Naples, the gearbox had completely gone, like sort of thing. So AJ was having to do this thing where like it like sort of like rev up to an island and then have to cut the engine, hope that we didn't stop, and then sort of jump the van again to get it going, get it over. And like literally the thing got us to the venue and then died on its arse. And then we were stuck. We played the first gig, it got us a little bit of money, and then we were just like, right, you're on your own.
And didn't you have to leave the van? You had to just abandon it?
Yeah. In the end, yeah, because we were being like messed around so much. We were trying our best to get this tour back on. We were like, you know, trying to hire vans. We were trying to get the one that we were in fixed and all that.
Yeah.
In the end, just bad luck and circumstance made it so that we were just stuck there for over a week. And then in the end, just had to abandon ship. And we hired a car, took as much of the gear as we could fit into this car and just drove for Calais.
Yeah.
Trying to get back into the country.
So did you only do the one show? Did you manage?
Yeah, just the one. Yeah.
That's a weird, isn't it, that? When you've kind of put all your eggs in that basket and go over. And could you do take a leap of faith when you go over to another country?
Of course, yeah. When you're doing it on your own vehicles, you know, like you know, like usually you hire a van from a company, you know, that way everything's sort of covered and they can do all the, like, you know. No, we decided to sort of DIY the whole thing. And it sort of bit us in the arse, but you know.
But if it had to come off, you'd have saved a fortune because it's so expensive to hire the vans.
Exactly, yeah. Well, that's what we were thinking because this has worked for us like quite a few times. It was just this time, like I say, bad luck and circumstance, unfortunately.
Yeah. So you've done Italy?
Italy, Russia, you know, the usual suspects like France, Spain, all that like sort of stuff. And yeah. I get confused because like I've gigged in all these countries in some capacity or another, but not necessarily played them all like you.
Yeah, we'll get to those ones shortly. So what happened with Hostile then? Why did that kind of fizzle out in the end? I don't know if it did fizzle out.
Yeah, so it kind of did and kind of didn't. Like, you know, we were sort of, we were getting ready to write for a third album sort of thing, you know. There were a lot of circumstances ongoing at the time, the biggest one of which, other than band members just sort of losing interest and life becoming what life becomes, you know, you get older, responsibilities start coming up and all this, like, you know, families, kids, money, rent, you know what I mean? But then also KK was sort of coming out of retirement and getting ready to do his thing, and he really wanted AJ to do this thing with him, like sort of thing. So that was also a massive factor as well. AJ being the lead guitarist of Hostile was about to be drafted into a band that are about to go and do things. You know. So, and yeah, like quite a lot was expected of AJ to do this band. Like he was in like a tribute band as well that he ended up having to like sort of quit and knock it on the head.
Yeah.
And a few other things like, you know, he gave up everything to do this band, like, you know, and
yeah. So that kind of like put a stop and
it was, so it was, like I say, it wasn't the factor, but it was a factor.
Yeah.
And I'm sure if everything else was sort of on the right path, we could have carried on, or at least just sort of taken some sort of hiatus. Like we've talked about it, like, you know, sort of coming back out and, I don't know, maybe releasing some singles, or like, you know, anniversaries have passed by of the 2 albums, like sort of thing. So we were thinking about doing something for those or whatever. But we got to do our last gig in Wolverhampton, WV1 Festival. Yeah. On the main stage, like sort of thing. It was really cool, to be fair, because
which they don't do. It's all covers, isn't it? All
no, it's a tribute festival. So it's all tribute bands, all covers bands. I think we were like one of 2 originals bands that ever got to play it, like sort of thing. You know, I don't know if did you guys ever do it? No. Yeah, so it was pretty crazy, like, you know, to have our last gig there, like, you know, it was packed as well, like, you know, everybody came out to watch, like sort of thing. We got a great send off.
Yeah.
I managed to sort of, like, a bit of a personal thing for me, because like Big Andy passed the bass on to me so I could play, like sort of thing.
Yeah.
I got to then give him the bass back.
Oh, that's nice.
At the end, like, you know, so he did like the last 3 or 4 songs, and I sort of like guest vocals with Jay, like sort of thing. And it was then the 6 of us on stage, like, you know, because he's a huge part of that band.
Yeah.
And it was just like a really nice way to sort of send it all off and start a new chapter, like sort of thing. So
it's mad because they've been such an ever-present in my career, because they were, I think I come up against the original Hostile lineup when I was in my first band.
I remember.
Doing the Battle of the Bands.
Yeah.
And
at the Robin.
And the singer was this big scary dude with new rock boots on, and like
Adrian Carlos.
I mean, I would only been 14, but it seemed like he was 7'2", with a big leather jacket going down to his ankles, and he kept, like, he always did that when he sung, and I was like, whoa.
He had hands like shovels.
Again, we were just doing AC/DC songs and our own originals that had 4 chords in them, and the dude was scary. And then obviously progressed from that. Jay ended up becoming the singer, and obviously you guys had KK Downing of Judas Priest. For anyone that doesn't know, the guitarist from Judas Priest, the guy that wrote all the hits that they had, managing the band. So what was that like, having someone like that? Because I'm guessing that's the first experience you've had with KK.
Yeah, absolutely.
As your boss.
Yeah, I suppose it was, yeah. So after their first, they did the first album and spent like a lot of money doing that album, like sort of thing, you know. Not going to go into all that. That's their business. I wasn't in the band at the time. But the crack was, I says you could save a lot of money by doing demos first. And like, you know, so how about we get the pre-production done with me? So you don't have to go into a studio to do pre-production. I won't even charge you for it. It just gives me an opportunity to work with AJ, and because like we've been friends for years at that point, like sort of thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, so all the demos got done, and we spent a lot of time, you know, putting the demos together, making sure they were all fine. They got sent off to KK to go and have a listen, because he was going to be the producer on it, like, you know. So we needed to present him with something, and he just turned around and was like, "Why are you going to bother going to a studio? Just finish the album like this, because it sounds great at the minute," like sort of thing. And that was like my first sort of validating point, where it was like, oh crap, like, you know, I could be a producer then if if the metal god's signing me off, like sort of thing, you know. And then AJ was like, yeah, but you're gonna have to come and meet him.
So you haven't met him at this point?
No, never met him before. At this point, no. He was like, yeah, you're gonna have to come and meet him. You're gonna have to come to the because he had Asprey Hall at the time,
right?
The golf course, you know, with the big stately home on it and all that like sort of stuff. And I'd never been to a mansion before, like sort of. So they're driving me up his, like, you know, mile-long drive and whatever, and we're going past his golf course, and I'm just like,
you got your best accent on.
Yeah, it's literally, right, dude, how's it going? And he's just like, just the most down-to-earth guy, like, and, you know, he gives me a few anecdotes and, you know, tells me a few stories, is what we need to do on the album, like, you know, and puts his ideas down to me, and was just, like, sort of, you know, checking me out, I suppose, like sort of thing, you know, signing me off to make sure that I could actually do the job. And lo and behold, from there, it was just sort of like a working relationship every now and again. There'd be a phone call here and something
So
there.
you're not in the band at this point, you're just producing?
Yeah, just producing, yeah.
Right.
Yep, absolutely. And then it wasn't long after that I actually got round to joining the band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's that pressure like of having someone like KK watching, both producing and your performance? Because the thing is, he's a wicked guitar player, so he could have probably got a lot of people in your role as well.
Mm-hmm.
And is that a pressure? Do you feel that pressure from having
It
him
was
watching?
immense at the time because all I'd done was just local bands and just my own demos as well, like sort of thing. And you know, I've just presented like rough guitars and programmed drums and this and that, the other, and just sort of like thinking, yeah, it's a demo, like, you know. And then he was like, right, no, this is going to be the real thing. And it's like, oh wow, like, you know, the real thing at the time is like, you know, Machine Head's like you know, probably one of the best produced metal bands. Like, you know, they're doing like, they'd come off the back of like the Blackening and Locust and all that sort.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we want to hang with these guys because these are the sort of labels that we're chasing, like sort of thing, you know. Yeah. The pressure was pretty immense, yeah. And I don't know, just I'm trying to remember back to it now because that whole point in time seemed like a blur, like, you know. So yeah, and it all happened very quickly after.
What year are we talking? Roughly where are we?
2011 or 12, I think.
Right.
I think.
Yeah.
My timeline's absolutely rubbish for this sort of thing, dude. Like, you know, so yeah, 2011 or 12, I think.
Yeah, and how hands-on, for both when you're producing and as a band, how hands-on is someone like KK? Are you talking to him daily, weekly?
Yeah, we talk to him quite a lot, and he can be really quite... He's a man for details.
Mm-hmm.
He will sort of let a project go quite far on its own first, and then sort of really pick up on the fine details, like this chorus is too long, this one needs like sort of shortening, you need to trim the fat here.
Yeah.
Guitar solos is obviously a very important thing for him, like, you know,
Yeah.
so he had like quite a lot to say about things like guitar solo passages and changing keys and keeping it interesting.
Yeah.
How to order an album as well.
Right.
Is something that he takes like quite a lot of pride in. It's like, which is going to be your opener? Which ones are the singles? Like, you know, how long is the gap between these two songs going to go? Like, so, and he would pick up on the beats of silence between songs and go, no, that's too long. No, that's too short. Like, it just stuff that you wouldn't even think about. Like, you know, he just nailed all of that.
Is it difficult with somebody that's obviously made his name in what we now consider as like a classic rock period, classic metal?
Mm.
Because the world of music and metal has changed so much, to kind of like take his point of view on, as well as going, well, there's these new bands doing this, or is he up to date with all the new stuff? Is he?
Well, so at the time, yeah, he was quite up to date. So like Judas Priest, he was still. No, was he in Judas Priest at this point? He might have just not long retired.
Mm.
But before that, like they would have done like Nostradamus and what's the other one? Angel of Retribution. And then like before that, they did like Demolition and Jugulator with Ripper Owens, which had a much more nu metal sort of feel anyway, like sort of thing, you know. And he would go to like quite a lot of gigs as well. Like anytime Rob Flynn was in the country, he'd go to a Machine Head gig because he'd get invited to God knows what. Like, you know, he'd just be backstage and whatever.
So he's not clocked out in 1989 and gone,
exactly, no.
All the good music finished.
Yeah, exactly. And it would be easy to do as well.
Yeah.
But no, Judas Priest has been one of them bands that, like, yeah, while they had their, like, the 80s and 70s stuff, which they're really well known for, they also had Painkiller in the 1990, I think, or 89 or something like that.
Yeah.
And that's, like, one of the most heavy metal albums. Like, that was so ahead of its time.
Yeah.
Like, sort of thing, you know. So he has always had his finger on the pulse as far as, like, what the new sound is, like, sort of thing. It's only in his own stuff that he tries to keep it to classic KK. I mean, I've just finished working on a project with him with the band Tailgunner.
Right.
And he's all over it. Like, this is an album that's not even out yet. Like, you know, he knows what is required from a new band these days.
Yeah.
Yeah, even though they're trying to sort of chase an old sound as well. He knows how to keep it relevant. He knows how to keep it competitive.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, good. It's good to know. So we're going to fast forward a little bit now.
Absolutely.
So another way that musicians have to find a way of making money and financing a lifestyle is by playing songs that you don't necessarily want to play. And you've been involved in your fair share of tribute bands.
Yeah.
How have you found that experience, and what's that? Do you get because you get certain looks, because I know myself, I don't do a tribute band, but doing covers, you get the judgmental looks from the original bands going, you've sold your soul.
I used to be the guy giving the look.
Did you?
Yeah.
I think I probably did as well, to be fair.
Yeah.
But without knowledge of why someone would do it.
No, exactly. Yeah.
And you reach a certain age, I think, where you go, well, that seems viable. Why wouldn't I do that?
Yeah, it was very much a case of like, what do you mean you want to get paid for your music? You fucking poser, like sort of thing. You know what I mean? Like we're here in the trenches, like, you know, making this stuff happen, like, you know, and like you're out here like not playing your own stuff, selling your soul, as you say. So I had all those opinions, you know, and then I don't know, there was just sort of like, so I played in a Pantera tribute band first.
Yep.
Which was a lot of fun. You know, it wasn't really like, it didn't feel like a tribute band in the same sense as like, you know, you got your thousands of AC/DC tributes and your Black Sabbaths and your Thin Lizzies and all that sort of stuff. The Pantera one sort of had this exciting edge to it because like, it's a band that can't play anymore, or at the time couldn't play anymore. Yeah. And it's never going to be heard again. So we're kind of just bringing something that's not going to be heard anymore. Like,
it's not on the cards, is it? Pantera fan can't go and watch Pantera play.
Exactly, yeah. But it was also like, it's not as big as those other bands as well.
Yeah.
It just has like this cult little following, and it's just sort of like trying to recapture a bit of love for something that can't be anymore.
Yeah.
And that was great. I was kind of on board with it, like, you know what I mean? And then we did the Linkin Park tribute. Mm-hmm. And at times, even that still feels like a bit of a cash-in sort of thing, because the guys started the Linkin Park tribute band, and then I'm sure it all happened within a week, but Chester Bennington dying and all that like sort of thing.
Okay.
And the whole thing has just sort of caught fire.
Yeah.
And then I joined up with them a few years later, and now we're making like bank at these gigs, like sort of thing. We're doing quite a lot of numbers and getting quite a lot of money for it, which is. And once you start earning that kind of money for a gig, it's hard to sort of turn it down. Yeah. You know what I mean? You know, especially when you've played these original shows, packed them out and whatever, it's like, right, lads, what we made? Just about made the fuel money back. And then, you know, we go do a couple of hours of Linkin Park, and the money we pull, it's like, holy crap, like, I ain't got to work this weekend, like sort of thing, you know what I mean?
So do you enjoy it when you're on stage?
Absolutely, yeah.
Do you enjoy it off stage? Do you enjoy being a part of the tribute band thing, or does it feel like a job?
It's more so just something to get on stage and do with friends, like sort of thing. You know, I don't really subscribe to, you know, and neither does the rest of the band. We don't try and like, because you've got some tribute bands out there that are that band.
Yeah, yeah, they've got the names.
Exactly.
I've seen them.
Yeah, and oh god, yeah, it goes to some extremes, like, you know what I mean. But we're not that. We're just 5 dudes that get together and play some Linkin Park, like, and we love doing it. Like, you know, we love going out and hanging out with the fans after the fact as well. Like, you know, it's not the most responsible gigging, but it's also not an originals band where we have to sort of keep up a reputation and all that sort of stuff. You know, there's a lot more freedom.
And how much do you feel the pressure to be close to what Linkin Park do or Pantera do? Do you feel a bit of creative freedom? Pantera,
very much. We try and keep it as close as we can.
You bass with both?
No, so I play bass with Pantera and guitar for Linkin Park. So with Pantera, we try and like one for one it if we can, like sort of thing. Because Jake, who's the guitarist, he's very like, he's a huge Dimebag Darrell fan.
Yeah.
Jay has always gone through life with people saying, "You sound like Phil Anselmo."
Yeah.
So
lean into it.
Yeah, exactly. Lean into it, get as close as possible. The Linkin Park one, a lot more creative freedom with that. Like, we go up there and play, like, you know, pop punk classics, or like, we'll always play like Break Stuff by Limp Bizkit, or like another Limp Bizkit track, or the one time we did like Tribute by Tenacious D, like, nice. You know, and just, or like a bit of the Bloodhound Gang or something. Like
so have fun with it.
Yeah, exactly. It's a lot more fun, like, you know, and we mess around with things, and yeah, a lot more fun.
Yeah.
None of us sort of dress up to look like them, or, you know, it's just, like I say, 5 dudes just going up there having a laugh playing some Linkin Park.
And it keeps you in with music, doesn't it? Because you can't, especially with your diaries that we're going to get into, you can't necessarily do an originals band because you're like, just put that on hold for 6 months. Because in an originals band, it doesn't work. No. Going, let's not do it for 6 months. It needs attention all hours of the day.
Exactly.
But at least you can go, well, I know I'm going to be in the country for the next 3 months. Fill my diary.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think especially you're right with originals band, like the age of supply and demand has sort of gone. You've just got to keep supplying, otherwise you get lost to the ether.
Yeah.
You know, it is like that. And yeah, you're right. I don't really have time for an originals band, but the cool thing about being the producer is getting to write a lot of music with a lot of other bands, or a lot of my own songs that I can kind of collaborate with other people on.
Yeah.
Something that while I've got a bit of quiet time is something I'm going to be doing more in the future.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay, so Hostiles finished. You mentioned that AJ gets the call to start something with KK. There's a lot of abbreviations here.
Yeah, we've no full names in this whole thing. Yeah, exactly.
So it's AJ Mills, who was like the guitarist, but the main guy for Hostile.
Yeah, it's his baby. Yeah,
who then gets the call to join KK Downing, formerly of Judas Priest.
Yep.
Left Judas Priest, retired, but then wants to start up a new project.
So yeah, the project hadn't. If I've got my timelines right, the project in itself hadn't actually sort of started yet. What was happening, however, was KK had just done a guest appearance at Bloodstock with Ross the Boss.
Right.
And then I think Dave Ellefson had just finished a book, and he wanted to do like a book tour, but in Wolverhampton wanted to come to KK Steel Mill, which is the music venue, which a lot of your listeners.
Amazing as well, by the way.
Incredible venue, yeah, absolutely awesome. Everybody there. So they wanted to do like just a bit of a covers gig where they just blast some Priest, blast some Megadeth, whatever. This then turned into like probably one of the biggest events that venue's ever seen, which was like the Mega Priest thing. So you had, it went from Dave Ellefson just coming over just for a bit of a jam session to Dave Ellefson bringing Tim Ripper Owens with him. Les Binks came out as well, who's one of the, so Tim Ripper Owens was a very brief, he was a very brief singer for Judas Priest of a few years. I think he managed 2 albums. Well, I say brief, it probably like nearly 10 years. I think
say
like
2 albums would be
Yeah.
recording, releasing, and touring.
Yeah, but I'm talking in the
grand scheme.
lifetime
Yeah.
that is like sort of thing.
He's had a lot of solo stuff as well, hasn't he?
Exactly. He'd done like Iced Earth, his own solo stuff as well, the 3 Tremors, but like loads of cool stuff. And he's probably pound for pound one of the best heavy metal vocalists on the planet.
Yeah.
Still, like I'll die on that hill, not a problem. And then Les Binks, who was the drummer for Judas Priest early in the career when they did that song I think they did a song for the Wolves, didn't they? Like Take on the World or something.
I try and block the Wolves out as much as I can, but
you would. Rightly so, sir. So they he was in the band when that was a thing, like, and he's like the credited for sort of starting heavy metal drumming, like sort of with double kick and like sort of that whole that sort of beat, like so he came back out of retirement as well, KK, and then AJ was to play guitar for the project as well. And then this was sort of where my career starts with KK, because this was like my first guitar tech gig for him as well, like sort of thing, But that's essentially how that went.
So how does that come about then? Did he phone you and say, "Are you interested?" Were you already doing tech work, or?
So what I did do for him was he phoned me up one day. AJ had given me the heads up on this before, and he's like, "KK's going to phone you. I've given you his number. He needs some help with his computer or something like that." So he phones me up. "All right, dude, it's KK Downing," and I'm like, "All right, dude, how's it going?" It's like, "Yeah, I'm having some problems with my Cubase, dude," which is the studio program that we both use to record.
Yeah.
He's like, "I'm trying to write some demos, but my Cubase," he's like, "Will you come over and," like, he says, "My usual guy's in Spain at the minute. Now, I could either stick him on a flight and bring him over, or I can give you the money and you can come and do it." I was like, "Stick me in a taxi, I'll be up in a bit." Quickly finished his, fixed his computer for him, got him all back up and running, found all his demos for him. And he was like, "Great, will you just be on, will you be on call if I need you for anything, like sort of thing?" And I was just like, "Yeah, anytime you need a computer thing doing." So we worked on a few things, like, just sort of, I did him some templates and all that sort of stuff. He was like, "You know how to tune guitars, don't you?" And he goes like, "And you know how to build like guitar rigs and whatnot, don't you?" He says, "I've got a gig coming up." He says, "I've got all my old Judas Priest gear from America. I need to make a rig, an A rig and then a B rig," which is like, just in case A rig goes down, B rig, becomes this redundant thing. Only I don't know how to wire it all up. Will you come and help me? So went over there, did that for him, and then he was just like, "Do you want to be my guitar tech for the gig as well?" And I was just like, "Well, yeah, absolutely. I'll give it a go." Like, I've never done it before, but like, I tell a lie. I'd done like, I was a guitar tech for Hostile when they were on tour with Machine Head, so I'd sort of done that, but that was literally just tuning guitars and,
It's fairly, at support level, it's very simple stuff, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah. It was just make sure nothing falls off the drum kit and make sure...
So you're like stage managing as opposed to being just guitar tech. If there's an issue, you fix the issue.
Yeah, exactly. Essentially that, but also tuning guitars at the same time, like, and fixing anything that goes wrong, which some things did go wrong.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was basically it, really. Like,
yeah. And then so you do that gig, and then you're the go-to guy, I suppose, then, aren't you? So when he wants something doing...
Well, so after that gig, it was... after that gig, he sort of caught the bug for it again then. KK, this is. He sort of caught the bug for it and went like, I want to write an album. I'm going to do a project. And it was essentially going to be that band that did the gig.
Yep.
But, And then one thing led to another. Dave Ellefson couldn't commit to it because he was still in Megadeth at the time.
Yeah.
And this was like just coming right up to the end of his career with Megadeth, like sort of thing. So he couldn't commit to that at the time, which was a shame because that would have been pretty cool, to be fair. Like, so and spent quite a lot of time with him, sort of helping him out with all this stuff. Like, he sort of led the charge, but I was there, to help out with all that sort of stuff.
So don't answer this if you don't want to. Are you paid for that time, or is that a volunteer thing? Are you sensing an opportunity?
No, so I was happy to do it for nothing at first. And then just because of the way that KK is, he insisted that he pay for my time.
Right.
Yeah. Like when I went to go fix his computer and all that stuff, like, he insisted on giving me money, like sort of thing.
Yeah.
It keeps it transactional. That's an important thing in business, like, because it can alleviate a lot of the personal stuff that can happen if something doesn't go the way that you want it to go.
Yeah.
Like,
you say that, but there's so many people that will allow, if you go, it's the first time, I'll do it for free.
Oh, yeah.
And the amount of people that will always just go, well, you did it for free before, why would I pay you now? So it's good on him that he has, but so many people, if you're willing to work for free, people will just let you work for free.
Oh, yeah. But he's like, he looks after his people like that. He's a really good guy like that. Like, I was absolutely happy to do that Mega Priest gig for free. Just because it's an opportunity of a lifetime, like sort of thing. That's never going to happen again. And just to be involved with it was an incredible thing. But he was like, no, I'm going to be taking up a lot of your time. We need to agree a rate.
So fast forward, then obviously the album gets made.
Yep.
And then there's touring plans.
Yep.
Obviously, AJ, he's in the band as second guitarist to KK. He's almost a bit of like KK's protege, isn't he? He's like the next coming of KK.
Yeah, absolutely. He's very much he's like what Richie Faulkner is to Judas Priest at the minute. He's very much that for KK's Priest, like sort of thing. He's going to hate that fucking comparison, but like both of those guitarists need a second.
Yeah.
Like Glenn Tipton needed Richie Faulkner. KK needs AJ because they bounce off each other so well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you get the call then to go on the tour when that's and also it's like, where do you pitch that tour? Like, how big is it? It's a new band. Obviously, everybody knows Judas Priest. They're a huge band, but it's normally when people go solo, it's the front man. But you've got the riff writer that's gone solo. But he's obviously got Ripper did the tour. He's part of the band,
Ripper's in the band. Yeah, so that's it. And that's kind of like KK's the draw. Ripper is very much makes it a solid package. You know what I mean? Because, like I say, one of the best heavy metal vocalists on the planet, so his performance, for one, is incredible.
Yeah.
But just the fact that you then get in to see an era of Judas Priest that you wouldn't have otherwise gotten to see, especially newer fans and whatnot. Yeah, so, like, I suppose it was never really billed as, like, the Jugulator era of Judas Priest, but that's what people sort of got from it and thought that that's what it was going to be, but what it actually was its own project altogether. So like when the tour came up, because the album was made during COVID, we actually managed to get 2 albums done in that time
All right.
before the first tour was even announced.
Yeah, that's mad.
Yeah.
Really good planning.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so there was a lot of demand for what was already there, like sort of thing. You know what I mean? Because the albums did quite well.
Yeah.
You know, they did all right, and there was a lot of people that just wanted to get their hands on it and just see KK out on tour again, sort of thing. Like,
is he doing Priest's greatest hits as well on tour?
I wouldn't say greatest hits.
Yeah.
Are
they doing like?
We'll do like Breaking the Law.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like, you know, they don't really do like Living After Midnight or Hellbent for Leather or anything.
Right.
What we sort of see a lot more from them is like the deep cuts and stuff.
Right.
So they do like a version of Before the Dawn, which was never even played by Judas Priest when they did it. You know, Diamonds and Rust, which is a great song.
Yeah.
Some deep cuts off of Painkiller.
Of course, because Priest are still touring as well, aren't they? They're still,
of course,
a band. So it's like if you want to go and see the hits, they're doing them. So it gives you that alternative view if you're a big fan, as well as the new stuff as well.
Well, yeah, and it's never really meant to be like Judas Priest 2 or a tribute band. Or KK's Priest is its own project.
Yeah.
Even though, like, you know, the songs have like a lot of throwbacks to KK's time in Priest, like that is who he is.
Yeah.
Like he's that guy. He was Judas Priest, like sort of thing, you know. So there's no reason not to expect that.
Yeah.
But it's a completely different project at the same time. He's working with concepts that he's touched on before, but sort of advancing them in the way that he wants to see them go.
Yeah.
Which, you know, is well within his right as, you know, as a founding member of Judas Priest.
So what skills would you say that you need to be a guitar tech in the role that you had in the band? What do you need? If someone's watching this and thinking, if I shoot for the stars and I don't end up being on the stage, hey, what do I need to be able to do to be a good guitar tech?
The skills come later.
Yeah.
Like, I know how to tune guitars, I know how to set up guitars, I know how to, like, you know, the basics of a guitar setup, you know, action, intonation, all that sort of stuff. Be confident with a truss rod.
Is that something you've taught yourself?
Yeah. But that's just from butchering it myself, then taking it to a guitar technician, him giving it me back, and I'm like, oh, what's different about this? Like, you know, why can this play so good? And just dissecting it all, like, you know. But that's not for everybody. That's just, you know, it's a very backwards arse about tit way of doing it. Like, you know, what you'd normally do is go get like a luthier class or something like that, you know what I mean? And get taught properly.
Because you can't butcher KK's guitars, can you? You can't turn up on day one of the job and turn it into a cricket bat, can you?
No, exactly. So luckily I already had some knowledge of it. But if you were going to just do it, the first and foremost thing is to be cool and a good hang. Because
you consider that the most important?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, that's interesting.
And when I say a good hang, I mean, don't be too much of a live wire on tour. Like, you know, it's like touring gets like the sex, drugs, rock and roll thing.
Yeah.
We don't drink when we're on tour, really. Like, you know, we don't drink pre-job. We'll have a couple of beers after tour, and we might have a blowout on like Roadie Friday, which is like, you know, if you've got a day off the next day.
Yeah.
So, like, it's being able to be a good hang, someone that you can live with, you know, 8 to 10 other people, because that's what it is. You know, you are in close proximity on a tour bus with a lot of people all the fucking time. You know, you got to be completely confident with having all of your private time shattered, because, you know, all that sort of stuff. And just not being an arse. Really, like, you know, no scrapping on the bus, no like puffing your chest out and trying to give it the big I am, no roadie resumes, like, you know, no name dropping, all that sort of stuff. Just be cool, and that's the most important thing before any of the skills come into it. Be reliable as well. When someone tells you you've got to be somewhere on time, they're going without you. If bus calls at 10 and you're there 10:05, bus has already gone, mate. Like, you know. Yeah. It's
interesting because you can't have an ego as well doing that job, because you have to learn quickly. It's not about you.
No,
the show goes on, and there's a million other people there going, I'll do that job.
Yeah.
And if you lose that, KK's not thinking next time he's touring, oh, shall I get him back? He's like, no, that's it.
God, mate, absolutely, yeah. So exactly the ego thing, but this is the other thing as well: is you can't have the ego, but you've got to have the confidence. Because the people that you're working for have to be confident in you. Yeah. You know, you can't turn up being all nervous and, oh, no, like, you know, because the guy who's on stage needs to not be looking over his shoulder, wondering what's going on. Yeah. He needs to know that if there's an issue, he can just stand there playing and it's going to get fixed.
Yeah.
You know, so you've got to have that confidence and you've got to be able to instill confidence in others.
Yeah.
Not just the people on stage, but your team around you as well. So,
And have you had any serious issues? Have you had some big?
oh yeah. We've had
failures?
some clangers, like, you know, just things not working, click tracks going down, you know, in-ear monitors. Like, technology is incredible at the minute. It's the best that it's ever been. It's only going to continue to get better.
Yeah.
But electricity is old, man. You go and play some of these theatre venues in the States and you walk on stage, turn your amp on, and all you hear is... It's like, great, what is that? Yeah. Like, technology is great, but power's unreliable.
Right.
And, you know, so yeah, you get some clangers, absolutely.
How deep's the team with KK? How many's part of the road crew?
It started bigger and it's just consistently getting smaller and tighter, like, sort of thing, you know.
Is that through people taking on more jobs? So is your job now more encompassing than what it was when you started?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, so before it was sort of like just looking after KK, just tuning his guitar, you know, making sure his amp's turned on and all that sort of stuff. Like, you know, very simple. But I got help off a guy, really good friend of mine, Tom Hawks. His name's Boots on the road. And he was like neck deep's guitar tech. He's guitar tech for Bad Omens at the moment.
Oh, sweet.
But he was KK, he was AJ's tech for a little bit. Like, you know, he did a couple of tours and I just took everything that dude said like a sponge. Like, you know, I just absorbed as much information from that guy because he's just so fucking cool and so knowledgeable. And I just took everything off him. So from him, I learned how to do like rig building. I got into not something from him directly, but from people that he was sort of involved with, like building the backing tracks for like the Ableton sessions. So we use a lot of, if people don't know what time code is, time code can be linked to like the lights or like LED screens, all that sort of stuff. Like, you know, so learning to work with that in an Ableton session, building cues and all that sort of stuff for band members and whatever. Like, it's all quite advanced stuff, but, you know, all through this guy, I learned all that, like, you know. And then just, as you go on, you just sort of learn more things. Like, I'm sort of learning to be like a monitor technician as well. Like, I've done a couple of gigs doing that now. That's a lot of fun. I think the one thing I won't touch is lighting because, like, just seems like a ball ache, really.
You don't fancy it?
No, I don't know. It always seems like your biggest problems always seem to come from lighting for some reason. Anything to do with lighting or an LED screen, just keep me away from it. If it makes noise, I'll do it.
Yeah. That's class, man. So you went everywhere, basically. You toured
all over the place, yeah.
So where have you been? Done an American tour?
Yeah, we've done America. Okay, so when I say everywhere, we've done pretty much all of Europe and a lot of the United States of America and a tiny little bit of Canada as well. We were supposed to go to like South America and all that sort of stuff, but, you know, stuff happened, like, you know. We done a cruise as well, which was pretty great. Yeah, that was incredible.
Is that like one of those rock festival cruises?
That's the one, the Monsters of Rock cruise.
And how's that on a ship, on a stage, trying to do your job?
Yeah, pretty awesome, to be fair. I'm not gonna lie, it was because my biggest fear was getting seasick. Yeah, because I mean, Crush, you know me from when we were in primary school. Like, I used to throw up the second I got on a coach, just going down the road so I was like, what am I doing on a boat?
Just put the casters on the amps first thing.
Exactly, yeah. Well, that's it. That's if you're ever going to do a cruise, lock the wheels.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing you need to know, really.
It's a 101.
Yeah. And you don't even feel it on like the size of these ships, on the size of these cruises. You don't even feel it. It's not until you kind of look up and see the lights doing this.
Is it actually moving? Like, I don't mean on the water. Is the ship going somewhere? Yeah. Oh, it was. It's not just like pulled in the dock. And...
No. So you start in Miami, and it kind of takes you to Nassau. I think was one of the places. Mexico. It was supposed to go to a Jamaica, but they had an international incident in Jamaica at the time, so we decided not to go there. Yeah. We ended up going somewhere in the Bahamas instead, which was even better.
How awful for you.
Yeah, it was. We had that kind of weirdness, actually. We were off on a beach somewhere in the Bahamas, just like floating in the water, and I just turned to the front of house guy and went, we're getting paid for this. This is crazy, dude.
The dream. That's what I mean. Like, I think just for people to know that there is a job there. That
absolutely.
You don't have to be on the stage if you're not good songwriting. Some people can't handle the pressure of being on stage and performing.
No, yeah.
And if you get nervous, there is a world of jobs for you to do
Absolutely.
that doesn't require you to. And I think people, again, we spoke about it with the tribute bands. You haven't failed if you're not the person on stage. You're just doing. How many people go for like a big job doing, I don't know, being a solicitor and end up being a manager of something else that they never intended? You've still achieved. And if you're putting food on the table from the music industry, you've won.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because
absolutely.
there's so few jobs, and it's one of them that, like, your CV doesn't necessarily lend to being a good, guitar tech.
Yeah,
because you've been in a few bands, you've done a few decent gigs, but for the most part, you've done like your average level gigs for a musician.
Yeah.
But now you're smashing it and touring.
Yeah, and like I say, it's all just through being a good hang on a tour bus. It's all just through doing your homework and learning how to, do the skills that are required of you, but just making sure you do them efficiently.
Yeah.
Because you could set up a guitar perfect. Like, you could spend all the time, getting the truss rod exactly right and all this. And it's like, great, awesome. We've got an hour till showtime and you've got another 6 guitars to do. And it's like, so you've got to be efficient. You've got to be, really good with time management, all that sort of stuff before all the skills, sort of thing. But don't get me wrong, those skills help.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, this is the first thing that I say to drummers is you could do so much being a drum tech because we're very, drum techs are worth their weight in gold. Mm-hmm. So learn how to tune a drum kit.
Yeah.
Like, whether it's in the studio or whether it's people hire people just to go in, set up a drum kit and tune it and then leave and get paid a lot of money to do that sort of thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or just, go on tour and just tune drums. Like, it's such an important skill. Like, tuning drums, setting up drums, learning to repair drums and all that sort of stuff. It can get you through a lot of doors.
Yeah.
Just get you onto a tour. And then you can kind of take it from there. Like I say, you could go on to be like a monitor technician, another full-blown backline tech, front of house, stage management, just rigging.
Yeah.
Anything like that. And you could get all over the world doing it as well.
Yeah.
Like, it seems like a really big world until you actually get in and then you realise just how short it is.
Yeah, the merch world as well is mad.
Oh,
That's such a big job now that every band, I know bands that don't roll with any crew, but they take a merch guy.
Yeah.
And you'd be surprised, that's all spreadsheet work.
Yeah.
You sit there and you have to do, basically you're doing stock taking every single day. You got to be trustworthy because if they've got any fears that you're stealing the money, you just won't ever come back.
Yeah, we did a tour where our tour manager wasn't meeting us until about midway through the tour, and he usually did the merch.
Yeah.
And our other tour manager didn't want to do it, so I ended up taking on the responsibilities of doing merch. So, all these spreadsheets that you're talking about, price per head, all that sort of stuff. It's all massively important and such a good way to get into the industry as well. I know a lot of really cool merch people that are worth their weight in gold. We use the same guy when we go to America every time. Because he's a genius. Yeah. He's just so cool.
You don't even think about it being a job, do you?
No, you don't.
But you still really get that, rock star lifestyle. You're not on stage again, but the amount of people, you're dealing with thousands of people every single night.
Yeah. And arguably the most important job as well.
It's bringing in the most money. That's obviously you get your fees for performing, but that's all the stuff that you can't. If you have a great night on merch, you've just made a killing.
Absolutely.
Whereas if you're terrible at your job... It's such a massive loss now because the markup on the merch is massive in it.
Exactly that, mate. Yep.
Right, so I've held off as long as I can without mentioning the Back to the Beginning show.
Oh, yeah.
So you were a part of the thing that the world tried to get tickets for, and you were there working.
Yep, I got to be... So KK was asked to come down, be a special guest, and he got to play in one of the super groups, and I was his guitar tech for the thing. And
so how long before the event before we all found out, how long did you know?
About a year.
You knew a year before the thing?
Year,
no way.
Yeah. Yeah, this was up in the air for ages. Mm-hmm. It was just sort of, he wants to do this thing, Ozzy wants to do this thing, or... Well, to be fair, we didn't even know if it was Ozzy that was doing it. It was just sort of Black Sabbath want to do this thing, and KK is going to be a special guest for it. We didn't know any more than that, really, but we just knew that it was... they were really trying to make it happen. Mm-hmm. And like I say, that was a year in advance. And then we got nothing for ages, and then all of a sudden it was happening.
Yeah, because it all seemed to happen really quick, because it was announced it. There was a talk the day before that this mega gig was going to happen, gets announced, and then it just seemed to all happen
really
quickly.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing you got told, like KK gets invited to do it. It's a fly. How do they figure out it? Like, when does his involvement become? Because I suppose it could have been anything. So where did he get figured out into the supergroup and what he was playing?
So there was quite a few different iterations of what he was playing. A lot of different songs, song choices. Whether he was going to do Judas Priest songs or Black Sabbath songs, all we kind of knew that he was just going to be there.
Yeah.
So all these different ideas kept getting thrown backwards and forwards. I was making him demo tapes sort of thing to jam along to. Mm-hmm. So there were a few different songs, and while he could have just gone and practiced to those on YouTube sort of thing, I wanted to give him something that it was like, if he wanted to practice with the guitars, he could have those on, or he could mute them, or he could mute the vocals off, or increase, decrease the tempo, sort of thing. Just a full palette to practice with. Yeah. And so we did that quite a few different times with different songs, until in the end it was just sort of right, we think it's going to be this one. It could still change, but and that was months in advance, sort of thing,
So how many songs did he do in the end?
He did 2 songs in the end.
He did Breaking the Law.
Breaking the Law.
And what was the other one?
Snowblind.
Ah, okay. Oh, because I did watch it, but it's been so long now.
Yeah.
It feels like ages ago, and there was that many different performances from it.
Yeah.
I forget who's done what.
Yeah.
Okay. So in the build-up then, so you had the pre-production, do you have rehearsals with the project?
Yeah, so for the most part, on the build-up, it was just about making sure that we had a rig ready to go, because all his gear's still in KK's Priest touring mode sort of thing, so I had to disassemble a few things and basically build him a small, 6U rack full of gear, so we were batting things backwards and forwards like that, building tones and all that sort of stuff, trying to get quite close to how KK would play a Black Sabbath song, sort of thing, and then it was very much just sort of the weekend of. It was Friday, we were in for a band practice rehearsal, meet the crew for the first time. Right, here's what we're going to play. Here's the order in which we're going to play it, whatever. Saturday, full-blown dress rehearsal. No, sorry, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So Thursday that. Friday, full-blown dress rehearsal. Yep. Saturday, gig day.
Who's in KK's supergroup?
So KK's supergroup consisted of, there was Danny Carey from Tool, Adam Jones from Tool also, Tom Morello, Rudy Sarzo on the bass.
Yeah, which is the original Ozzy solo bass player.
Yeah, and what's his fucking name? Smashing Pumpkins vocalist.
Oh, yeah. I've just got the Simpsons reference in my head now. Corgan.
Billy Corgan.
That's it. Smiling politely.
Yeah. Yeah. Billy Corgan did the vocals for it as well. And then, different members sort of get swapped in and swapped out. So, Steve Tyler was also in that as well. And who else? Christ, a lot of Travis Barker as well.
Yeah.
And the guy from Red Hot Chili Peppers, Chad Smith.
Yeah.
So before the band actually came on, this was most surreal thing about before the band came on, they did the drum off, which was it Symptoms of the Universe or something like that, and then so I've got while I'm setting up KK's gear and getting ready and that, I've got Travis Barker here drumming his ass off sort of thing. I'm just thinking, my God, what is life at the minute?
And then you go back to what we were saying at the start, that you listening to that Blink-182 Greatest Hits compilation, and then you're feet away from him.
Yeah,
playing to 40,000 people, something like that.
Yeah, something, and the millions
watching.
Yeah.
So how's that feel then?
Surreal.
Yeah.
I don't even have words for it. I still don't.
Are you fangirling? Or are you professional mode?
Being as cool as I possibly can.
Yeah.
Because, you're sort of you're representing the guy that you're out with, and this goes for the same for touring as well. He's always come at it with the approach of, you're representing the band that you're working for or the artist that you're working for. Because if something goes wrong and it's your fault, it's never, that guy's guitar tech sucks ass. It's, that guy sucks ass.
A lot of people aren't even considering there being a guitar tech, are they? They're just seeing the final product.
Exactly.
What's at the front of the stage.
Yeah. Exactly that. And that carries as well. You sort of that band are so difficult to work with. It's probably not even the band. They probably haven't even got a clue what you're talking about. It's probably the team around them. So you're always representing them, and you've always got to go in with that So as hard as you want to fangirl and go, ask somebody for an autograph or something, everybody's in work mode at the end of the day, and you've got to stick to that. Like, there's a time and a place for all that other stuff. Like, and if you get lucky enough to go be in that time and place, by all means, go ask for the selfie or whatever.
Yeah.
But, while Travis Barker's on his way to his drum kit, you don't stop the dude and go,
Nah.
Can I have a picture?
Who's the one that got you closest to being like losing your professionalism? Is the one that you feel like if they were going to get you?
Probably Sharon Osbourne.
Really?
Yeah, to be fair, like, yeah. Saw her and she's like absolutely tiny, like, sort of thing. But she was just so nice. And like, because I used to watch the Osbournes as a kid, like, sort of thing, and Sharon's like such a big part of that program. I was like, holy crap, that's like my childhood walking past right there, like, sort of thing. So
and then she did all the X Factor as well, didn't she?
Exactly,
years?
yeah. Like, the nostalgia there was absolutely ridiculous, and that was the closest I got to sort of fangirling out, and like, because the more you do these things, you're more like your musicians and stuff, like, you kind of get used to it.
Yeah.
But seeing someone like that was just like, holy crap! Like,
yeah.
So
how's the performance go from your end? You're behind the scenes pushing buttons?
I was on the stage pushing buttons in the end. Yeah. I was supposed to be. I was supposed to be behind the scenes. I had originally the rig was set up in the wings. What we didn't count on was the amount of people that were going to be in the wings watching the gig.
Yeah.
So I just says, like, I'm going to have to set up on the stage, like, right next to sort of where Travis Barker was playing, behind the keyboard player. And I was just watching from there. I got, like, pretty cool video on my Instagram of my POV, like, sort of thing. And so I'm just looking out into the crowd, just watching. And
it's a revolving stage, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
So there's a band performing to the crowd, and behind that, the band's the people are setting up for the next act.
Exactly.
Is that right? So
exactly.
So before the act on before you, were you behind there?
Yep.
Getting everything ready.
Yep. Exactly. That's exactly right. Just setting everything up. Couple of guitar cabs, rig here, sort of thing. Tuning up the guitars, trying to get my power sorted, making sure that we got mics going to the cabs, all that. All that business. Like.
And is KK cool as takes it all in his stride?
Yeah, he's not even there yet.
He's not. Oh, really?
He's not even there yet.
No,
he just rocks up just as the stage is about to revolve.
Yeah.
So I walk over, give him a guitar. Best of luck, dude. Do you need anything? All right, I'm going to be there. If you need anything, just give me the look and the nod, and that was.
And are you like, please be working, please everything be fine?
No, I've got everything already.
Working.
It's all
good.
Yeah. I've done like a bit of a sound check, like, sort of thing. You have to hope that it stays working, but the second that you hear, and it's like, yep, there we go, right. So yeah.
Sweet.
As I say, you've got to go in with that confidence. You can't be sort of going like, oh God, because you will summon something.
You wouldn't have fancied that as your first gig, though, would you? You go back to doing the KK's steel mill.
Oh no! But that was like, I had an incident at that gig which like changed me forever, like, sort of thing, like that. We had this. So we were doing that gig, and it was the first time that I'd ever worked with pyro or anything like that. And KK give KK his guitar, he's playing away. And the pyro goes off for the first time during the gig, and you just hear the guitar go, ew. And I was like, what the hell was that? And KK's looking at me like, what the fuck have you done to my rig, like, sort of thing, thinking that I'm messing with buttons and whatever. No, the heat from the pyro had caused all the metalwork to slip on his guitar, and he was a half step out of tune.
Oh, way.
So, like, I'm there, like, if anybody's ever messed with a Floyd Rose guitar, they're a pain to get back in once they're out, like, sort of thing, So I'm trying to work on this thing side stage, and that taught me a lot about how to deal with a situation on stage. So by the time we get back to the beginning, if anything would have happened like that on stage, I know how to deal with it all now. But you are right, I wouldn't have fancied that as my first gig.
No.
Luckily, nothing went wrong, but it could have.
Yeah. So what happens post-show then? Is it chill time? Is that when you can start and enjoy the experience?
Yeah, very much so, yeah. KK, we take him back to he gets taken back to the dressing room, sort of thing. He does his thing. Any interviews that he's got to do, and then he leaves. For me, it's about making sure that all the gear gets packed away, making sure that it gets stored away safely and all that stuff. And then, go grab a beer and enjoy the day. Spend a lot of time backstage, so we get to meet like quite a few people. I got to meet the guys from Gojira. Tim Howley from Fit for an Autopsy was there as well, so I got to talk to him. Bumped into Kirk Hammett as well. That was random.
Yeah.
Gave him a guitar pick. because apparently he was hanging out with KK and asked him for a guitar pick, like sort of thing. Was like, I really want a guitar pick, and like KK's like, I've got none. If you bump into my guitar tech, like, so I got a heads up about that.
Yeah.
And so I went and found him, like, just on the side over there. And I was just like, Kirk, there you go, dude. I was like,
Mad.
Yeah. So just little surreal experiences all through the day like that. Then just when you think things couldn't get any crazier, it gets like so much more crazy. Like,
And was it as special as it seemed? The whole event, like being able to watch it as a spectator as well.
Oh yeah. Like there was an energy there that day, and when he got up, and there's a couple of moments really that nearly broke me. And I'm not like really an emotional person when it comes to music. Like same with films. All that sort of stuff. Youngblood doing Changes.
Yeah.
I nearly cried.
Yeah.
And Mama, I'm Coming Home.
Yeah.
When he did that whole stadium turned into some ball of energy, and I was just like it was overwhelming, like sort of thing. And I had to go take a minute after the fact, like just to go, like.
Yeah. You could sense that watching it. You could see that there's moments in music that you can't get from anything else. I don't think that you just have this feeling and it just seems special.
Yeah.
And just to be able to experience it. But also you can't make those moments, you can't manufacture them, they just happen. Because if, like, Ozzy's voice has been shot for years, but for him to be able to be there and do, like, that must be one of the hardest songs to sing anyway, but for him to attempt it, and I saw, like, you can see Zach Wilde grabbing the microphone, try and cover for him. But yeah, it's just a
that's
moment.
just having your boys back in it at the end of the day, like, and, Zach did great for that. But Ozzy, like, where he got the strength from to do that, like, it's like you say, you can't manufacture it.
Well, knowing what we know now, he wasn't alive for much longer than a month after.
No, exactly, yeah, exactly, yeah. It's a crying shame, really, like, I still want to watch the documentary of it all, to be fair, like, but that's the likes of which we're never going to see again.
Yeah.
I can't think of a band off the top of my head that's ever going to command that sort of
influence.
Yeah, especially in this country.
Yeah,
but,
yeah. So we've spoke about all the amazing things that you've done. Is there any, like, particularly lows? Is there any, not to bring it down, but is there any bits that you kind of like regret or that you haven't enjoyed along the way?
Absolutely, yeah. Like most people in music, we're all very, like, sort of emotional people, just in general anyway, like, and things like mental health is just such a prevalent thing, like, for musicians and people working in music. It's such an up and down. The highs are ridiculous, and then the lows are like the lowest that you're going to get, like, sort of thing, So yeah, I've had to struggle with a lot of things like that. Off time between tours, especially like the US tours, like, after you've just done some of the most exciting things and gone and seen all these awesome things, to then come back to your home in Wolverhampton and just kind of sit there and try and take it all in, but then, like, go, well, what's next? And, so yeah, those are probably the lowest points, is when I'm not doing anything. Do
you think that post-tour blues is a real thing?
It's absolutely a real thing, dude. It is the realest thing.
It's so weird because you're so desperate to get home, and after a while, when you've been on tour and you can't eat well, you can't sleep well, you live in each other's pockets, you're like so desperate for some peace.
Yeah.
But a couple of days into that, you're like, I feel redundant. I feel like I've lost a purpose. And even though your purpose goes back to what it already was, it's so weird to just reconnect your brain back into reality. Yeah. And you must get that from especially doing the American runs as well.
Yeah, of course, yeah. And, like, I think it's just like any kind of, like, troubling time like that. It's all about, like, just communicating with other people, like, but it's hard when the only people that can relate to it are the people that you've just been out with, but they need their time to sort of do their thing as well, and, battle whatever it is that they've got to battle through coming back off a tour and whatnot. So it's really quite isolating in a way, and it does leave you on your own to deal with it, but you've got to try and find that way, because like you say, it can take you to some horrible places. Yeah, and has done. Yeah, yeah.
Sweet. What advice would you give to someone wanting to start in the music industry, whether that be as a musician, somebody that might be coming down the studio, picking up a guitar or drumsticks for the first time, or wanting to go into a job like yours?
Yeah. Get with other people as soon as humanly possible. Get into a band. I wasn't a good guitarist, bassist, singer when I joined a band. I could barely just about string some chords together. I couldn't play open chords. Didn't know what a scale was. I thought it was what I'd use to weigh myself. Just I didn't know any of that. But as the earliest opportunity, and I've got Josh from here to thank for that. The earliest opportunity that I could get into a room with people, that's it, and that's the most important thing for me. I think get good in your own time.
Yeah.
Don't use band practices to get good.
Mm-hmm.
Just practice your ass off. Remember to live and remember to enjoy your childhood and whatever. But get into a room with other people as quick as humanly possible and blast it out.
Yeah. Good advice. Do you think you'll still be involved in the music industry in 20 years' time?
I'd like to think so, in some capacity or another.
What do you think it might look like for you? What do you think? Have you got a goal for where you think you'd like to be?
Yeah, sort of. I'd like to still be touring.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to still be doing the studio thing. Whether or not I play in bands anymore is up for debate, sort of thing, But I'd like to. So at the minute, I'm working with KK's Priest and I'm working with Accept. Now, these are already known bands, and then every other band that I've sort of been asked to sort of work for has already got a name. Huge bands. I can't go into them all because it's all, a lot of it's confidential and all that sort of stuff. I'd like to be part of the next thing.
The next up and coming.
Yeah. Whatever comes next, I'd like to, sort of what Architects were a few years ago, sort of thing. What Bad Omens were not all that long ago. They're taking over the world at the minute.
Yeah.
And I want to be part of that next thing.
Yeah.
And, bring a load of young people up, sort of thing, and show them how it is on the road. And, because obviously I'll have the experience by then if we're talking 20 years. I want to be able to pass that back.
Yeah.
In terms of a studio, I'd love to have a studio, but I'd like some younger people working with me as well. And the same thing for them. I'd like to be able to just give it all back to them.
Yeah.
And just sort of all the mistakes that I've made, like we were talking about quite early on, show them how to get past it.
Mm-hmm. Sweet. Have you got a musical bucket list of things that you like? I've got a gig bucket list of things that particular place I'd like to play or things I'd like to achieve. Is there anything for you, whether that's as a musician or as a tech?
For me, it's just about getting into other countries now that I haven't been to. So I'd love to go and see something in Brazil or Argentina, so South America. I'd love to go and tour Japan, as a tech sort of thing, I've got no disillusions over going to play in bands, you know what I mean, to do this, but I'd love to be, I kind of like being in the background and being the secret weapons behind the scenes, sort of thing, and also I love to see the people that I work for go and smash these things as well. It gives me such a sense of pride that you're part of other people doing these things. So KK's Priest especially, to see them in Japan or South America, Australia.
Could they do it? Have they got the numbers for it?
Yeah.
They could.
Absolutely, yeah.
Is there a reason why not to have done it so far?
Time and circumstance.
That's all it is.
Yeah. Just timing's not being measured up and...
So it's definitely achievable then. It could be...
Yeah. It can be anything. It could just be that, double booked or maybe the money just isn't quite there or it could be anything like that. Just small circumstances that can turn a whole thing off sort of thing, and it does happen.
Yeah.
That's why you can't be disappointed too much in these things, because sometimes it's just a matter of circumstance, Yeah. But it can happen, and I'm pretty sure it will happen.
Yeah.
And like I say, if it doesn't happen with KK's Priest, I'd like to see it happen with somebody else. But like I say, especially a younger band.
Yeah.
I'd love to go and do it with a younger band and be part of the next up-and-coming thing.
Sweet. So what's next for you? What have you got in the diary for... We're coming towards the end of 2025. I don't know why I looked at my watch then it was going to tell me.
2020. Yeah, that's about right. So it's quite a quiet end to the year for me now. No more touring for the rest of the year. I did have some things offered, but they're, for whatever reason, again, time and circumstance.
Yeah.
So just working on some things in the studio, there's a young band from here that I've been working with, Cryptid, though, nice bunch of young lads, it's not usually the sort of work that I'll take on at the minute, but while I've got some spare time, again, it's all about just giving it back a little bit, sort of thing. So
you've done their first single?
Done their first single, and hopefully do a couple more. There's a couple of other younger bands as well that have been in touch, and want to kind of try and work with them while I got the time.
Yeah.
And then just working on some things with KK as well behind the scenes, none of which I can talk about.
Can't talk about.
But yeah,
All in good time.
yeah,
So
absolutely.
part 2.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 100%.
Sweet. And then final one then. Do you want to shout out your socials or any plugs, anything that you want to put out there where people hit you up for work?
Usually all my tags are Anthony Wall FS. That's Anthony with a H, WALL FS. And that's just where I put everything. I've got no producer one and a guitar tech one. It's just all there out for people to see. And I'll try and give away as much as I can, really, behind the scenes stuff. No secrets. So
yeah, you got some great captures from your touring.
Yeah,
times
absolutely.
As well.
Absolutely.
Worth a check out. I'll share that as well. Get people to
absolutely
check it out.
And if anyone any work and stuff all gets booked through that. So if anyone needs anything,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Sweet. Well, thank you very much for your time. That was really interesting.
Dude, thank you very much for having
enjoyed
me. It's weird. This is like the second podcast that I've done since I interviewed you.
Which was years ago. Now, wasn't it?
Exactly. So I haven't done anything like this since. So thank you for the opportunity, mate. It's
Thank you.
been
for coming.
absolutely
Really
awesome.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
Nice one. Thank you very much.
Thank you.